What's good, Storm fans? Bryant Cook, and today we are playing a legacy combo deck that is almost as old as the format itself. I'm talking about Solidarity, which is really just a mono blue high tide combo deck. It has nothing to do with the white common card. Terrible deck naming. That's what early legacy is all about, but this isn't a terrible deck. It's a super sweet one. So the idea behind this deck is that we want to win on the opponent's turn. You might have seen the other version of this deck before. It's sorcery speed, it runs high tide, all that good stuff. So we're not playing that. We're playing the instant speed version that's based around this card Reset. It's a 2-mana instant that you get to untap all of your lands on your opponent's turn after their upkeep. So you can play it at the end of their draw step if you decide. So with high tide, you make all of your islands tap for multiple blue mana. You then untap them and you play cards like Brainstorm, Consider, Opt, Impulse, a ton of really sweet ones. And then unfortunately, Meditate. And I say unfortunately because it's a reserved list card, but it's not that expensive compared to other reserved list cards. It is a reserve list card though, and that does put a sour taste in some people's mouth, but it's a super sweet one and I love casting it. So something a little bit unique about this deck list is that we're running 4 Meditate in the main deck. So credit where credit is due, Magic Online user Jack sort of innovated a change that I love, and that's a sideboard Tolarian Winds to get with your Cunning Wish. So that means that you get to play all 4 of these in the main deck. I've played this deck on the channel a few times previously, and we ran a 3-1 split with a single copy of Meditate in the sideboard. You don't have to do that anymore. Excuse me. And Tolarian Winds sort of fixes that. So the idea behind this deck is you want to make your island tap for a bunch of mana, untap, tap, tap, untap, tap, draw, whatever, and eventually you'll play Cunning Wish to go get the sideboard Brain Freeze or the Blue Sun Zenith and deck your opponent. Either of those will do, but something that I think is really sweet about this deck is that you get to use Force of Negation to protect your combo. It's one of the few combos in Magic the Gathering that's possible because you can only cast Force of Negation on your opponent's turn for the alternative cost. Well, I worded that poorly, but you know what I mean. You can only use the alt cost on your opponent's turn to protect. So Force of Negation is sort of unique here. That pretty much covers my deck tech. Unfortunately, I am recording this after round number 1. I made an error, and I'm sorry. My mic is accidentally unplugged in the first match. So halfway through, I realized that my mic was unplugged. I fixed it. I have no excuses. I am sorry. So if you're going into the first match, the first 10 minutes or so, there's no audio. I am really, really sorry. I hope you watch the rest of the video. If you want to skip that first game, I completely understand. But that's what I've got. So I appreciate you watching. Once again, I'm sorry. And I hope you enjoyed the sweet Solidarity League. See ya a little bit, maybe? All right, first match coming up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Okay, so I just fixed my mic issues. I'm going to have to go back and re-record the deck tech. I think I'm going to leave in game number 1, unfortunately. For some reason, my mic became disconnected. I am terribly sorry that there was no audio in that first game. It's disappointing. That was a good game, too. Okay. So I think we probably want the surgicals here. Maybe take out some impulse. Maybe shave on a turnabout. Let's try this. Really disappointed there's no audio in that first game. That first game was sweet. Okay. Let's try it. I don't know. It seems fine enough. Underground Sea into Ponder. And they shuffle. Draw. Another land. Pass the turn. Main phase Brainstorm. Alright, and they can make it a perfect Brainstorm with this polluted Delta. Alright, unfortunately I have to let the duress resolve. There's no point in casting a cantrip first. Just allow them to discard the surgical and move on with your life. They take Consider. That's surprising. Opt. I'm gonna bottom the reset. Okay. Draw. Looks good to me. Pass the turn. I wonder if they left surgical because they have another duress. Alright, end of their draw step, we'll hit the duress. Now that I have a force to protect my, me from losing the game, I think that this is a reasonable play. Interesting. So they have, this is a fairly stock list. Multiple surgicals is kind of surprising, though. So they could jam the ad nauseam here, but they could even take a peek with the surgical to see my hand first. And they do, so they'll know that I have force of will. And they're at 16 life. Preordain. One on top, one on the bottom, into a Ponder. So that was the card they kept off Preordain. Alright, so they have 4 cards, and they shuffled off the Ponder, which is good. Mission Briefing. Fun fact, you can play Force of Will off of Mission Briefing for the cost. Mission Briefing works differently from Snapcaster. A lot of people don't realize that, but Mission Briefing is just worded differently, so it does work. And if you're a Storm Combo player, this is something you should definitely know. Okay, draw. And another briefing. Pass the turn. Dark Ritual. You're just going for the Adnos? Okay. A little risky. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. We know that they have a diamond. Yep. So they're going to go get Past in Flames. I just want to stop that from happening. Let's just play the briefing. Think I want these. I don't really want to mill them. Target force. And we will force the Infernal Tutor, removing High Tide. Okay. Draw. So you could Mission Briefing the Surgical and remove all the Infernal Tutors. I don't know if I love that, because they're on a list that has Burning Wish, so it's not as crippling as it may seem. We'll draw the Force of Will and then pass the turn. I could have fetched it away, but I think I want it. I just want to make sure that I don't lose the game. I think that we have the longevity. Cunning Wish. I don't think there's anything I want to grab here. I guess I could go get an Impulse. That seems fine. Cunning Wish. Yes. Yeah. I think the Impulse to find a High Tide would be great. I'm just going to take a land. Pass the turn. They have 4 cards. I'm going to no, I'll wait until I have 2 more, because then I could have double force up. I think if casting the Meditate there is just a little bit too greedy for my taste. Where here I'll have double force up and they're so unlikely to be able to beat that. Sure, you can have a Cabal Ritual. Is this a Past in Flames? 1 card left. You'll tap 5 lands. Alright. I mean, they're an Infernal Tutor away from being able to try again. Pass. We'll let it go. I think the pick here is Mission Briefing. Let's see what they decide. And they agree that it's Mission Briefing. Alright, so let's play the Meditate. And I can try to win here. I think I'm going to. High Tide. Reset. Cast Meditate. Look at me! Draw. Let's reset. Play another Meditate. So many cards. I'm gonna cast Brainstorm. Put back Scalding Tarn, Misty, and then I'm gonna Surgical my Scalding Tarn. Let's get that free shuffle. Okay. Tap this for a blue, play High Tide. And now we're oh no, I should have played Opt before I cast the High Tide. For some reason I thought I still had a Brainstorm in hand, which is a big oversight. Let's play Opt. Well, there's a Brainstorm. Cast it. Better lucky than good. Mission Briefing. We will surveil these. Let's do Meditate. I just love drawing cards. Okay, this brings us down to 10. We'll cast this Reset. Only for 16, though. Land. Untap. Cunning Wish. Yes. Grab the Brain Freeze. Cunning Wish. And that'll do. We have won match number 1. I am sorry for the technical difficulty. Hopefully the rest of this league will go well. It's my own fault. My mic just accidentally became unplugged. It's my own fault. No excuses. But I hope the next 4 rounds go better. Thanks for watching. Really, once again, I'm sorry. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Welcome to the second match. We are on the play and we have audio, which is pretty sweet. That will be the last time that I mention it. This hand is a pretty easy keep. We have High Tide, we have Reset. What we want to find is a Meditate with this Impulse. That is the game plan. Let's go. Island past the turn. Volcanic into Ponder. You got it. They did not shuffle off their Ponder. Draw. Another Turnabout. Play the Misty to try to sell a lie here that maybe we're not on some sort of mono blue deck. Scalding Tarn. Channeler. I'm going to respond to the Channeler with this Impulse, so that way if they decide to counter it, they don't get a trigger. Alright, cast the Impulse. Force or a cantrip? I think it's Force to protect our combo. Okay, the Channeler will resolve. I'm not going to counter that. Alright, they had no further spells. We'll take a draw. Meditate. I mean, we could go for it here. Maybe I was supposed to go for it there when they... Alright, I think now's when we go for it. I tied. Let's play Reset. Alright, so that resolved. Let's cast Meditate. Okay, that was good. Let's try Turnabout targeting me. Land and untap. Tap here and we'll meditate. So our only draw spell here is the Consider, which is pretty scary. Alright, so I'm going to cast the Consider first. I will keep Brainstorm. High Tide. If this Brainstorm whiffs, I'm going to feel so bad. Reset. When I realized I could have Brainstormed first, but it makes it so I have to play around days awkwardly, and I just don't want to do that. Cast Brainstorm. Come on, deck, please. Alright, I think we've got it. Alright, so now we'll tap this. Mission Briefing. Mill the 2 lands. And Meditate. We'll Turnabout. Turn 3, no big deal. No big deal at all. Untap. And now we'll Meditate. Cunning Wish. Love to see it. Opt. Keep that. Consider. Keep that. Cast Brainstorm. I think we should just try to win the game at this point. I suppose I'll try to win. Reset. Tap some more mana. Reset. Cunning Wish. Yes. Grab the Brain Freeze. Target them. First Storm 20. Boom! That was sweet. Get wrecked, Delver. Get wrecked. Love it. Okay, so we want the Pact of Negations. That's why they're in the sideboard. And we don't want Force of Negation. It's just not really what we're looking for in the matchup is all. So now we have to find 2 more cards to take out to, you know, have a 60-card deck, which is really what we're looking for. I think Turnabout's a little bit dangerous in this matchup just because it's a really big Pyroblast / Daze target, so we're going to board out one of those. And then an Impulse. Wait, did I mess something up? One moment. One Impulse. I guess I never boarded out the Turnabout like I thought I did. So I guess there's some sort of, like, do I think one Impulse is better than boarding in a Snap? Slow them down a little bit and get an untap effect? I'm going to keep it like this. I think it's fine. Bummer. We have to mulligan this. Keep. I think we're actually going to bottom the Force here. we're in a cyborg game, so we have Pact of Negation to protect us without the card disadvantage, which is really what we're looking for. Turn 1 Channeler, you got it. Draw. There we go. Let's thin our library of an island and cast this out before they can have Pyroblast up. Alright. I think there's some risk involved with that decision, but if I can find a high tide, I want multiple packs to protect me, so we'll see. Main phase Brainstorm with the Surveil trigger. They kept their card on top. Scalding Tarn, they'll fetch. They have 2 of the 4 required for Delirium at the moment, and a Ponder. So now they'll have 3 of 4. The Surveil trigger reveals nothing. They chose to keep it on top. So we'll take 1 here down to 18. And they accidentally skipped their combat. Another Meditate. Pass the turn. Expressive Iteration, you've got it. Mills and Murktide, they are now Delirious. My best draw by far is a High Tide. They revealed Daze. Okay. I'll take 3 down to 16. Draw. Land. Okay. Pass the turn. They'll get in. We'll go to 13. Delver of Secrets. Okay. So if this flips, I think I'll just take the draw. Consider. Okay. I was thinking about an end step Meditate there, but the fact that it plays in a Daze I didn't love. And it did not flip, so we would go to 9. And then I fetch down to 8. I don't know if I love end step Meditate. Wasteland. They have 6 cards. I mean, they probably left Lightning Bolt in their deck. It'd be dead if the Delver flipped to it. Alright, let's try the Meditate, I suppose. And it resolved. So they'll take another turn here. And I don't have a High Tide, so there's a good chance that I could be dead. And once again, the Delver is not trained and it doesn't flip. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to try to consider here while they're tapped out. See if I can find that High Tide. That can go straight to the graveyard. Another Pact. Not loving this. They mill Mystic Sanctuary. We're at 40 cards left in deck, so it's worth noting that we're 33% of the way through and haven't found the High Tide, which, you know, not the best. Okay. So they have 7 cards in hand. We're at 3. High Tide. The 4th Pact. Okay, so what is the plan here? So we can cast Meditate looking for exactly High Tide Reset. That could do it. If we Surveil, if we Mission Briefing, I suppose I could also Turnabout their creatures on their turn. That's an interesting thought. But then I'd have to keep the Force, and I don't love that. Okay, so I'm going to pass the turn. Maybe I should fetch main phase. Player, like, if for some reason they have like a lightning bolt or something. Alright, so we'll grab an island. I'm at 2. And I have to discard. Force and Mission briefing. I know it's crazy that I'm keeping quad packed, but I think it's the right call. I guess it's better to cast this now. I can cast the reset later if it comes to it. Oh my, we hit it. We actually hit it. Alright, high tide. I can't believe we hit high tide reset. Let's go! 3 mana. We will cast a pact on their Force of Negation. Alright, so the Surveil trigger resolves. They're going to force high tide. I will pact that. They do get a Surveil trigger here. 4 cards left in hand. High tide. A third force. Well, we have a third pact. Does high tide resolve? It does! Okay, so I can't play the reset until the end of their draw step. Alright, so they flipped expressive. We'll go to their draw. And now I can cast the reset. Alright, it's now or never. Let's add another high tide to the mix. Opt. I definitely want the Cunning Wish. Mission briefing. The reset's actually pretty good here. That on top. And we want the meditate wherever it is. Meditate. Alright, looking pretty good. Turnabout targeting us. Land, untap. Brainstorm. Probably should have done that first in case I hit another high tide. Wow. I think we just get rid of the cantrip. I don't need triple Cunning Wish. So let's add a bunch of mana here. Reset. Cunning Wish. Yes. We'll grab the Brain Freeze. Cunning Wish. Grab the Blue Sun Zenith. Brain Freeze you. Okay. This was a sweet one. And our opponent's going to concede the game. We got it. We beat the best deck in the format with solidarity. You'll love to see it. We're 2-0, 3 rounds left. Feeling pretty good about this. Stick around and see how we do. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3, we're on the draw. I have no idea what our opponent's playing, but we've opened up sort of a slow hand. I don't know if this is actually keepable or not. I just don't think you're allowed to mulligan with this deck, so we'll keep. Alright, pass the turn. Well, I guess we're not passing. They're starting their turn. Volcanic Island. Ponder, you've got it. Did not shuffle. So they've kept. Draw. That was a good one. Let's play an island. I want to keep the fetch land up for a possible brainstorm, and I want to cast the Consider, so it makes sense to play the island. Misty. Alright, let's play Consider. Yes, I would like to put Island to the graveyard. Ooh, things are looking pretty good right now. I like it. We're mono islands. And they have a brainstorm. Not really sure what they're playing. Could be Delver, could be Sneak and Show. Who knows? Technically, it could even be Ant. These are both ant lands as well. I mean, I don't think it's very likely, but you never know. Alright, so Sneak and Show or Delver. And it is in fact the Sneak. 4 mana. That's the Sneak attack. Okay. Draw. I don't love our odds here, if I'm being completely honest, but we'll see what happens. I think we're supposed to let this go. You could respond to that, but I just don't think you're supposed to. So they're in beginning of combat. Let's cast a High Tide. And they have a force. Damn. Alright, they got me. Bummer. First game loss of the league. And it's a deck with Emrakul in it, so this Brain Freeze in our sideboard's dead. We will have to Blue Sun Zenith them out if we're going to win a game. So I think we're interested in the packs here. I think we're supposed to board out the Impulse, and then we have to find 2 more. I wonder if you're supposed to just, like, board out 1 Turnabout and 1 Opt. You don't really want to board out Force and Negation just because it interacts with their combo. So that's my thought process here. Game 2. This hand's slow. I think we can do better. I guess. Keep bottom of mission briefing. I'm going to cast Opt in our main phase to play around Pyroblast. Opt. Looking for land 2. That unfortunately has to go on the bottom, and we did not find the second land. Volcanic. The Lotus Petal. Ponder, sure. Did not shuffle. That's a little scary. Draw. We did not hit a land. We'll cast the Brainstorm. Okay then. Well, this was a fun match. I'm glad that we got to showcase what Solidarity can do. All that good stuff. But we are not winning this. End my misery. Come on. They're going for it. That's a sneak attack. They're activating the sneak. Honestly, this is good enough. I'm just going to pick it up. We're brainstorm locked. We can't win. Unfortunately, we are now falling to 2-1 with 2 rounds left. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we are on the play with Solidarity. This hand's pretty good. We're going to try this one. So we have High Tide, we have a Meditate. What we're looking to find is land 3. And then we want to find a reset. And then we can, consider trying to win the game. Play the island and pass the turn. Island meets island. Consider. I'm going to mill the Opt. And I drew another Opt anyway. All worked out. And there's our reset. So we just want to find land 3 now, which should be the easiest thing to do. Brainstorm, you've got it. Tropical, okay. Opt. Yep, love it. Draw. I think we're going for it. Let's see what our opponent does on their turn. So I could try to go forward on their draw step, but I want to see if they'll tap their lands to do something. Interesting. Alright, so I think instead I'm going to Cunning Wish here. Go grab a Pact. I wonder if they're on like blue-green Omnitel or something. Draw. Love to see that. Pass the turn. Intuition? Brazen Borrower. Okay. The Borrower gets in. We'll go to 16. I don't really know what they're playing. I'm going to go for it, though. High Tide. They're resolved. Cast the Meditate. Force pitching Baleful Strix. We will attempt to pact it. Meditate is still on the stack. Force pitching Baleful Strix. We will force pitching Impulse. Meditate again. 2 cards in hand. All right, High Tide. Reset. So we have 1 blue. Consider. We will mill that. All right, so we're at a tough point here. We can mill our opponent for 33, which is obviously not enough, but we've also ran out of gas. I have Tellurian Winds or I have Blue Sun Zenith. Each one of these taps for 3. So Cunning Wish, Zenith, Zenith for 4 is what I can do and have to hit a reset. Or I can Zenith for 1 and try to hit exactly like, I don't know. That doesn't even work. So I think the plan here is the Tellurian Winds for 2. This is so bad. Actually, I could Zenith for... This is 9 mana. So if I wanted to leave 4 floating, I could Zenith for 2, which would be bad. There's 3 resets in the deck. I'm just going to get the Tellurian Winds. It gives me the most outs because if I draw into another Meditate, I have mana to do things. For 2, another Cunning Wish. It's still not enough Storm count. So I could Brain Freeze for like 40 something, but then I'll die to my Pact. It's a bummer. Alright, let's Cunning Wish. Yes. Grab the Brain Freeze, and let's target them. 39 cards, so we're 10 cards short. But on the bright side, I get to see their deck. Hogak, Fauna Shaman, Endurance. Ah. So they're an Endurance deck, which is something I didn't really consider. And they have an Endurance here. Okay. They got me. Alright, so we're more looking to Blue Sun Zenith out this opponent. I don't think the Force of Negation is very good. Let's get rid of that. I do think the Chain of Vapors might end up being decent, so I'll bring those in. They answer Leovold and other things. Let's try this. Yes. Good hand. Take 2. Island. I'm gonna opt on my turn. Alright, we hit the land. That's good. Tropical. Ponder. Draw. Gonna be lazy and just Impulse now. think we want the Turnabout. Burning Catacombs. Fauna Shaman, you got it. Pass the turn. They're activating the Fauna Shaman, discarding an Edric Spymaster for a Kitesail Freebooter. Honestly, I think it's party time. Let's go. High Tide. Force pitching Brainstorm. We will force pitching Chain of Vapor. Turnabout targeting me. Land. Untap. Meditate. So we did not hit a reset. Let's opt. Taking you on the bottom. I'm going to allow this Kitesail Freebooter to resolve, but we are also skipping a turn because we played Meditate, so they will get an untap. Vile. Interesting. If they had a creature in hand, they could have put Leovold into play, and they didn't. 2 cards still in hand. Draw. Another land. Not the best. This feels like an endurance here. And if it is an endurance, I think they should have just slammed Leovold last turn. Alright, so they're attacking for 3. I'll go to 12. And the opponent's passing. Fetch to thin, I guess. Need to draw something. Draw. They know about the Misty. Oh, geez. They don't know about the other 2 lands. I think our best draw just became Brainstorm. We are so far behind. Okay. And they're just passing. So they have Fauna Shaman up. Brainstorm, please. Opt. Interesting. So they're discarding Brazen Bar. Why would they respond to opt? They pick up a Freebooter. Sure. You can take my High Tide. Yep. Briefing. Okay, that's interesting. We'll keep that. Play a land. And I have to pass. So now they have 3 cards. 4 cards with the Vial on 3. So I'm taking 4 to 6. So if I mission briefing into Meditate, I actually lose the game. So I can't mission briefing into Meditate. That's not an option. So I guess the question is, do I keep the briefing to act as a High Tide? Just fetch to thin, I guess. Draw. Oh, way too late Brainstorm. Okay. If this is Leovold, I will cry myself to sleep. Alright, 2 lands on top. Pass the turn. I don't think I can even do this, but we'll see. So, briefing into High Tide, and then Brainstorm into Reset. That's the goal here. High Tide. Cast it. Fluster. Alright, well, we're beginning to skid a little bit. 2-0. No losses into 0-2, 2-2 total. Let's see if we can win match number 5 and get our money back. The Best Legacy Podcast? That would be Eternal Glory featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. The 5th and final round, I am on the play. Yeah, this hand's great. So we want to find lands and meditate. Those are really the big things that we're looking for here. Delta, pass the turn. Scalding Tarn. No easy matchups tonight. A lot of blue decks. Grab that basic, and then we'll cast Opt. Nope, don't want that. Draw. Okay. See what they're up to here. Another Scalding Tarn. Impulse. Take the land. Draw. Okay, this is pretty good. Volcanic. And do a Brainstorm. You got it. In their upkeep, they're going to fetch. Alright, so this is Jeskai control of some sort. Well, it looks like it's go time, so let's do it. High Tide. Force pitching Snapcaster. Force pitch Brainstorm? Or the Cunning Wish? I'm gonna pitch Wish just because I think we're a little bit choked on mana. High Tide. Cast the Reset. Meditate. Yikes. Okay, we will turn about ourselves here. Hoping to get a little bit lucky. Untap. Cast Brainstorm. Put Brainstorm on top. This actually doesn't even work. We're just too bottlenecked on mana. Grab the Tolarian Winds, I guess. Yeah, this is not a good line. Might as well cast the Brainstorm, I guess. Sweet. Yep. I thought about just grabbing Brain Freeze there, but if they're on Narset, they're probably on Days and Doing, and I'd be leaving them with like 15 cards still in their deck. They picked up a Force of Negation. Brutal. And now they have a Force of Will. This game's over. Yeah, too strong. Okay, so we got crushed. Let's see if we can get the post-board games. Bring in the forces. Or, I'm sorry, the packs. Let's get rid of the forces. Maybe you're not supposed to be playing them. I'm not sure. It's just that it's really tough for us to recover from the card disadvantage, and then you end up fizzling. I could also be maybe too aggressive with my, trying to go for it early all the timelines. Wrote out the impulse. Let's try this. Okay, so game 2. This seems reasonable. We have to find a High Tide, but looks good. I also wonder that if you could potentially build a Snap base list with a bunch of Snapcaster mages, so using Snap and Snapcaster, I think that would be really cool. Instead of using Turnabouts. You could maybe even still play Mission Briefing. So that way you're just optimizing your Meditates and High Tides a lot more. Just a thought. Just lazy main phase consider. Know that. Tundra. Ponder. Draw another land. Let's Brainstorm before they can Pyroblast. Looks good. Let's get rid of the Turnabout, and I think I'm actually... No, I probably want the Force. I was going to put back the Force, but if they play a Narset on 3, I probably want to be able to fight, because I don't think I'm going to be able to win by then. I'd have to find High Tide right now. Flooded Strand. Draw. Pass the turn. And they Brainstorm. They fetch with Flooded Strand, and now another copy of Brainstorm. I have a feeling they're looking to slam a Narset here. Also, if you played a snap base list, you'd have natural answers in your deck to something like Hull Breacher or Leovold. Alright, so Vista. I think I'm going to try to meditate first so I can get more cards and figure out what I'm supposed to pitch. Alright, so now we can force this, removing Opt. They force back. Force removing. Consider. They have 3 cards. But they do get to take an extra turn here. Land 4. Yeah, I mean, I said it when we started this league, actually, I don't remember which intro I said it in, but the War of the Spark Planeswalkers just absolutely destroyed this deck. Alright, I can't beat either of these. I'm just going to pick it up. I'm sorry. So we went 2-3. Not the world's best record. I am really interested in the Snapcaster Snap build of this deck. And maybe getting rid of some of the fat. So and I think the fatty cards here are Turnabout and Force of Negation. And I wonder if you're going to play the Snapcaster Snap version, if you can maybe move away from Cunning Wish. And I know that's, a crazy person's suggestion or whatever, but Cunning Wish is really clunky and it's limiting our sideboard. I think that you could just play a main deck Brain Freeze or 2 and it would be a lot better. Plus, if you're playing a main deck Brain Freeze or 2, it works really well with your Snapcasters and your mission briefings, etc. So that's what I have to say about Solidarity. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it, and keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.